Welcome. This is a presentation called Avoiding Plagiarism and Misuse of Sources in College Writing. This is intended for students in my classes, Professor T. Green, Northern Essex Community College. In this presentation you will learn what plagiarism is and how to avoid it. So this is the first of a series of two presentations. This one is about avoiding plagiarism, the other one is about correctly using sources. Alright, first of all, why is it important to know this stuff? Because in the world of research and scholarship, ideas belong to the people who think of them. Scholars, like other kinds of artists, make their living off of trading in ideas in the same way. Songwriters make money off music, or movie makers make money off of DVD sales. You all know that you're not supposed to copy DVDs or CDs or song files and pass them around freely. You're supposed to pay a fee to the owner of those, and people aren't supposed to copy each other's stuff without permission because of copyright laws. Something similar happens with scholars, people who just think of ideas. And you're not supposed to use the ideas of others when you are writing your own material without giving credit to the person who originally thought of the idea, if it's an original idea to that person. For example, one of the ideas that I thought of a couple of years ago when I was thinking about vampires in literature was the idea that vampires have become, over time, increasingly sort of sexy. It's not my idea, and I give credit to the people who originally had that idea. But I was thinking in terms of exactly why some of the more recent vampires are sexy, and that was my idea. So I put together a presentation. The presentation is called Why Are Vampires Sexy? And I go around to different high schools and college and libraries and places in Massachusetts and New Hampshire, and I give my presentation. And every time I give the presentation, I get a little bit of money, a little honorarium. So if somebody else were to take the idea of why are vampires sexy and steal my ideas about why more recent vampires are sexy and make their own presentation, that would be money out of my pocket, right? I would be losing part of my living because somebody was copying my ideas without crediting me. So as scholars, we always credit each other when we use each other's information. In the same way there are laws that prevent people from making illegal copies of a song or movie, it is also inappropriate and sometimes illegal in terms of copyright to make unauthorized copies of people's ideas, written work, lectures, or website contents. This applies, by the way, to the work that students do in this course and in all courses. If you write something for your English class, and I'm the teacher, and I copy that without your permission, or I post it up on the internet, or I give it to somebody without your permission, I'm not only violating copyright, but I'm also misusing the source. I have to get your permission and give you credit if I use anything that you've written in class in a way that involves copying or retransmitting or reproducing. Alright, so here's the upshot. When you use somebody else's ideas or text, you must clearly indicate the ideas are not your own and give credit to the owner of the material. This should be a familiar idea to everyone. Everyone should have learned this in English 101 if you've taken English 101 before. And I apologize if you didn't learn it. Many of you learned it in high school, but this is a key idea. The world of ideas is divided into two kinds of ideas: your ideas and other people's ideas. And whenever you use other people's ideas, as long as it's not general knowledge, you have to give credit to the owner of the material. So, for example, if you quote from a book or a magazine, a lecture, a broadcast, or even a website, so you're taking text directly off of one of those sources. If you paraphrase material from one of those sources, in other words, if you put it into your own words but you're still reusing the same information, the same ideas, or if you copy an image or a diagram, a table, or figure from a published source, a book or a website, if you copy-paste something from Google Images, if you present another person's idea, opinion, or theory, even if you're only using your own words and not using the words of the original author, you have to cite the source. The other presentation in this series gives information about how to cite correctly, but this one is more about what you should not do. So whenever you're doing one of these things, you must give credit. Now, they were talking about two different categories of kinds of issues that might happen here. The left-hand column is what we call plagiarism, and plagiarism is a serious offense that gets reported to the dean's office. Examples of plagiarism would be things like copying your paper entirely or partly from a book or other published source without giving credit. If you just copy, paste, or transcribe something from another source and say that you wrote it when you didn't actually write it, then that is plagiarism. If you buy a paper from a paper mill or custom paper writing service, these are services that exist on the internet where you can go and get a free essay already written on any subject that you want, or you can search around and find people who will write essays for you for a small fee, or who will claim that they're writing essays for you for a small fee. Often they're just going to the free essay site and getting them for free and telling you they wrote it, because what have they got to lose? Or if you allow someone else to write your paper and present it as your own work, those all count as plagiarism, which is the academic offense that gets reported to the dean's office. Now, sometimes students accidentally make a mistake, which is much less of a problem. That's the right-hand column on this slide. If you forget or didn't know what to do, if you forgot to include a bibliography or list of works cited with an assignment, all assignments in all classes should require a bibliography or list of works cited at the end in college. If you forget or don't know about the need to quote something, it's a little bit of judgment call sometimes whether something is general knowledge or whether a source needs to be cited. It takes a little time to get used to remembering which one is which kind and developing your sense of judgment for that. So if you make a mistake, that's okay. I just let you know, and then you correct it in the rewrite. Or if you copy paste a picture or a chunk of text from a website without saying where it came from, not forget and you forgot, it's just a mistake, then that's the kind of thing where I'll remind you and say, hey, don't forget, you have to cite this source, and then you cite it and it's no problem. Plagiarism is actually more of a kind of a form of cheating, though. Plagiarism is presenting another person's ideas, words, theories, opinions, images, or other information as your own, presenting something as your own that you didn't write and saying that you wrote it. Plagiarism is a violation of the Academic Honesty Code, which is written in the student handbook that you all got a copy of when you signed up at Northern Essex Community College. Academic institutions, including NECC, take plagiarism very seriously. How serious is plagiarism? Well, it's a form of cheating. It's as though you had taken a copy of the test and written the answers on your hand and then gone in to take the test and copied the answers off of your hand and got caught. It's treated exactly the same kind of way as a form of academic cheating plagiarism is. At many schools, including NECC, you can be expelled from school for plagiarizing. I've never seen that happen personally on a first offense. I've turned in a fair number of people for plagiarism in the past, and usually you just get a reprimand as far as I know. But it is theoretically possible. The handbook does say that it can be done if the plagiarism is really serious, things like buying papers from paper mills or hiring somebody to write something for you. But even if you don't get expelled, having plagiarism on your record can prevent you from being accepted into some academic programs. For example, some nursing programs require that candidates be people of good character. And somebody with a plagiarism incident, somebody who cheats on a paper in the past, isn't considered to be of good enough character to apply for some nursing schools. And you can kind of see the sense of that. Do you really want somebody who's willing to cheat on a paper in control of prescriptions and drugs and medical records and other kinds of things where there might be a temptation to cheat? And that record goes with you. Anytime you pull a transcript or anything, it's going to go along and they're going to know on some level, in some way, have the potential to know about a plagiarism incident. So it is best to avoid and spread the word and let all your friends know. Avoid having plagiarism as one of the things that's on your record. So here's the takeaway from this presentation. Never turn in something you did not write yourself as your own work, and always cite when you use information from another source. Now there may be somebody who's just seen this presentation who is thinking, this is the way I got through high school. I would got an assignment for a paper and I would go to Wikipedia and I would copy paste a bunch of paragraphs from different articles into my paper and maybe write an introduction and then turn it in. All right, you were not supposed to have been able to get away with that. I apologize. You should have been caught at some point in the past and somebody told you not to do that. But I'm serious. I'm so surprised the number of people who never have heard this information. You cannot do that anymore. From now on, for all of college and in your professional career after you are finished, when you present something as your own work, it must be something that you have actually written yourself. And that especially includes this class. So bear in mind, if you turn it in and it's got your name on it, unless it is correctly cited, it should be your own work. Thank you.